Manifestation. Can you manifest and raise your vibration and make yourself bring in abundance?
I knew a gentleman who used to do something, contribute to a radio show. And at the end of each year, there was a prize of a motor vehicle. And you had to win a weekly award to be eligible. And his wife desperately wanted a car. So she decided that she believed in the secret and she would manifest it. So she spent an hour or two a day doing whatever one would do to manifest this car. And he was very hopeful. In fact, he believed they'd win the car. He didn't, of course, because he wasn't meant to. Spirituality is never designed, and the use of energy, to make money. If you're meant to make money, you'll do it. And then you'll use it properly, or you'll fail your karma as a result of having it. It's nothing to do with because you think well, or you spend a half an hour a day saying, I want money, I want money, I want money, I'm a good person, I deserve money. It won't be so. It just isn't so. It's got to be on your pathway. It's got to be what's meant. If it's meant, it will be. The best thing anyone could say is, if I'm meant to win, may I?
If manifestation is used as a goal, it can be successful. And by that I mean you have a person and they want to be a vet. They imagine themselves being that vet. They see themselves as that vet. They see themselves in a clinic with their name on the door. And that motivates them to keep working at school, to keep achieving academically, to get to the standard they want to get to. That is a good thing to use as a goal motivator. But in the true essence, they haven't manifested being a vet. They have worked to achieve being a vet, which is quite different. They've earned it.
Exactly.
And if you were staring in the mirror saying, I will be a vet, I am enough, I am enough, I am enough, does that mantra...
Of course it can help your self-belief. Yeah. I will achieve it, I can do it, I will achieve it. Of course, yes, I agree with that. That can help your self-belief. And I sometimes use that with my clients too. If I'm trying to change a belief system they have, I'll say to them, write it up in your bathroom mirror, whatever it is. See it every morning. Believe it every day that I can cope, I can do it, I can achieve. And if you're embedding that positivity into your mind every day, you're going to work towards it and filling your mind up with that belief system rather than, I can't do it, I can't do it, I can't do it. So yeah, of course, those are beneficial. They're beneficial. But you're still earning it. You're still working for it. You're not just plonking down, doing your gaming, saying, I'm going to win $1 million on Tats Lotto or whatever it is. You can't manifest that if it's not meant to be.
Some people will look in the mirror and say, I will be rich, and they'll devote all of their time to being rich, and they often will. Sad part about that, if they weren't meant to be, then they get up to judgment, they've finished their time on earth, and they'll say, well, look what you didn't do. You earned all of that money which has no meaning up here. You didn't use it in accordance to how you might have, and now you can lead all of that life again. And that's the sad part.
You know, the book, The Secret, and I'm not even sure who wrote it, and that's not important right now, but it made a lot of money for the person that wrote it. And I hope they've used that correctly. But I would love to know the statistics on the number of people who bought that book, who followed the manifestations of that book and achieved what they wanted. I'd love to know those statistics. They would be small.
Manifestation is half fact, half fiction.
When it comes to finances, it's only fact if you're meant to.
What about everything is meant to be?
Everything happens for a reason.
Yeah.
That's primarily true. Life is programmed as what's going to happen to you, what your karmatic repayments are, what your tests in life are. So those situations happen for a reason. They're meant to be. It includes also reckless behavior by yourself, that you don't take account of safety, security, care for other people or whatever, and you cause a chaos somewhere or whatever. To some degree, Spirit will have a hand in that too, because you would have had a warning before, somehow or another, that you're being reckless, that you're not being accountable. And then you will do something else again, and Spirit will say, okay, we're now going to really let that action have a bad consequence in the hope that you will learn from this one. So yes, technically that statement is correct.
What about angels?
Angels, I can only presume, are meant to mean spirits in the spiritual world. Angel is a religious term. It's cute. And the picture of an angel is a cute wee thing with wings. That's lovely. There's no fear in that. It draws people to the image and so forth, and therefore gives some basic, if not religious, context that there's something up there that's this beautiful place and angels do whatever angels do. I'm not sure what they're meant to do in the religious sense. But if we take away the term and we put it into spirituality, there's no such thing as an angel. There are no entities up there flapping around with their wings, small or big or in any other way. They're entities. They're a form of energy once they get up there, and that's all they are, and they're spirits. Spirits are entities. So angel is a correct religious term, and it's an incorrect spiritual term. There are people who refer to angels and guardian angels and so forth and mix and match it to some degree with spirituality. And there are guardians in spirituality, and there is a role for that. They're not angels. Is it possible that people have become confused and are referring to spirituality? Of course, it's possible. But the reality is that it has a religious connotation, which therefore is a secular interpretation.
What about the power of crystals?
Crystals, yes, of course, crystals have an energy. They have a very strong energy. I'm not an expert on crystals, and I've never actually asked Spirit too many questions about crystals. Crystals certainly have an energy. They can absorb negativity and they can absorb positivity. If a person has crystals and they believe that crystal is bringing them good energy around them, that energy will output what is put into it, and that is the negativity that's coming in or the positivity. So if in the home or around that person is a negative person and the home is a negative place, that's the energy that crystal is absorbing, and that's what it's going to put out. If it is a positivity, it's absorbing the positivity. But of course crystals certainly do have an energy of recreating energy. I mean, I remember at school and even after school where you had a pyramid and you'd put a battery in it and put crystal in the pyramid and your flat battery would be charged. That's a fact, that's a scientific experiment at school. And that's the energy that the crystal is putting out. I don't know, Ian, if you know more than I do. But
crystals are magnifier, so they magnify energy, good or bad, as Pearl has said. I had a person who I had quite some dealings with who had a healing centre, and in rebuilding the healing centre they had a large number of crystals embedded into the building with no access to them because the person who gave them advice didn't understand that crystals needed cleaning. So for the first month, this person who had the healing centre raved about the energetic effect of the crystals. And after 3 months came and said, I've got a problem. The whole place is dark, heavy, and it feels awful. Now, people are coming to a healing place with illness. They're bringing all of the hurts, the pains, and all of the illness. So it only took 3 months to fill those crystals up with all of the hurts, pains, and negativity. So that's all that people could feel. And business had dropped off. So what the person had to do, and bless them they did do, was that they got the builders back in and they opened them up and took them out of where they were secreted and put them in places where they could be cleansed monthly, which they had to be. And then it reverted to how it should be.
What about chakras?
Chakras are said to be energy centres within the body. There's a common belief that we need to balance our chakras. The way the body operates is the same as the greater universe operates. So it's rotating, it's vibrating, and when there's a weakness or a problem in one part of the body, it's drawing from another. It's not drawing from a chakra. So, the heart might be giving to the kidney or the kidney to the heart and so forth. That's how it works. And we all feel that in pains in certain areas and weaknesses. However, there are little moving energy centres in there called chakras. Now, let's go back to earlier knowledge that said from Leonardo da Vinci is that nothing is permanent. So once something is balanced, it becomes unbalanced almost immediately. So we can go to this trouble of balancing the chakras, if indeed that's able to be done, but there are people that believe that they can and say they can, and I'm not disputing that in any respect. They're not actually what's driving the balance within the body. But even if we balance them, a moment later they're not balanced because the body is not operating perfectly at any time, like Earth's not, like the sun's not, like the universe is not, and like the greater universe is not, because there's a mutual reliance in everything.
For more spiritual knowledge, remember to subscribe. If any of the information Ian and Pearl spoke about piqued your interest, make sure you like and comment on this video below. There's so much knowledge and advice being delivered from Spirit to you via this channel. Healing your physical and emotional pains will guide you towards a more loving and meaningful life. This is the Spiritual Renaissance.